What do you say about a guy, a good friend, best friend, that we've been had a shared friendship for over 50 years? It started in this little hamlet called Newton many years ago. It was the late 60s, and a group of us got in there. There was Reiner and Mark Prosse. There was Willie and Verna. There was Alma and Jim, and Dave and Jean. And we did everything together. We partied. We went down to the Newton Legion, and at one time they even built a hotel in Newton called the Newton Inn, and we went down there for opening day. And time went on and we were having a good time. One time I walked down the back lane to see what Dave was up to this Saturday, and there was this little shed in the back corner of the property. And he's throwing everything out of this shed. I said, "What are you doing, Dave?" "Well, we're gonna have chickens." "Really?" "Yep, we're gonna have chickens." Okay. So I go home. A couple of days later, I'm back down there again, and I look in this coop, and there was 3 of the mangiest looking chickens you have ever seen in your life. "Dave, where'd you get these chickens from?" Well, back in that time, there was a chicken processing place in Newton called Panko Poultry. And in the wee hours of the morning, the chicken trucks from the farms would go down the King George Highway to Panko Poultry. The King George Highway at that time was 2 lanes wide. All our neighborhood streets were gravel. There wasn't a lot going on. And every once in a while, one of these chickens decided it didn't want to go to Panko Poultry, so it would jump off the back of the truck. Now picture this, a truck is carrying along down here at 40 miles an hour, and this bird jumps off, and he's not going to look pretty. And Dave would walk down or drive down King George Highway before going to work and find these birds, and some of them were alive, and he brought them home. A couple of them, the first time I saw them, the one had no feathers down its breast here, it was gone. Another one was hobbling because its leg didn't work too well. And as time went on, he had more and more and more of these goofy-looking chickens. I don't recall whether they laid eggs. Maybe Craig, you remember?
I was too young.
Or whether they were just meat birds. I have no idea. But Dave loved the chickens.
Yeah. I know.
Dave was strong NDP. And Reiner, at the other end of the block, was strong social credit, back in those days when it was social credit. And Dave would have his yard covered in NDP signs. And Reiner would have his yard covered in social credit signs. Well, those two would natter back and forth constantly about which was the better party to vote for. And then one night in the wee hours of the morning, because crazy Dave's got a sense of humor, he walks down the street and steals all of the signs off of Reiner's lawn and replaces them with NDP signs. Well, Reiner gets up in the morning and all hell breaks loose. There is war in the Newton neighborhood, I tell you. Finally, Dave felt sorry for them and went in the bush and gave them back, because he'd throw them all in the bush. Gave them back all the signs, and everything was lovey-dovey after that. We used to sit in the backyard, and Reiner and Dave and I, and it's amazing what beer does. You get really smart the more you have to drink. And one day, and Craig touched on this, he informed Reiner and I that he has joined the Tawasin Yacht Club. Now, a yacht, to me, I'm thinking 40 feet plus, a yacht. But anyway, he talked about this, and the summer went on, and they would always go down every weekend down to this Tawasin Yacht Club. And the end of the summer, Dave says to Reiner and I, there's a big race coming up, and I need you guys to come down and help me crew this boat. Well, hell yeah, we're in, because a 40-foot boat, I mean, can you imagine? Where is it? Well, it's just off the causeway. Well, that's odd. I've taken the ferry to Victoria numerous times, never seen a marina or anything that looked like a yacht club, but he assured me it was there. Well, maybe it's around the corner and I couldn't see it. So we jump in the car and head down there, and we get to just the entrance of the causeway, and he pulls off to the left side or the south side and stops. He says, "We're here." Really? There's an old shack up here, and in small print it says Tawasin Yacht Club. Well, where's the boats, Dave? Well, picture this. There's all these what look like rowboats all around here, and some of them have got these sticks kept on. Reiner and I know nothing about sailing. Nada. Dave says, "Come here, I'll show you mine." It's over there. 10 feet? Yeah. He says, "Give me a hand to take it into the water." So we push it into the water. He says, "Okay, this is how it's going to happen. Jim, I want you in the bow. Reiner, I want you in the center here. And I'll man the tiller." Okay, we get on board this little boat there, and he says to Reiner, "Stick that piece of wood down the middle there. That's the keel, I think." Okay, and all these little white boats are skittering around. They look like a bunch of fleas on water. There's no sense of direction to going on here. And he says, "Now get ready. We're going to start in just a second. The race is going to start." Okay, it's underway. How did he know? Anyway, I've watched dirt track racing, motorcycle racing, hydroplane racing, but never quite the same as this little itty-bitty rowboat sailing. There were seagulls in the water, and they were going the same direction as us, except they were passing us. That's how fast we're going. So we're enjoying the scenery and having a grand old time, and Dave announces that we're going to turn just up ahead here. Okay, well, I don't know how to turn a sailboat. Reiner definitely doesn't know how to turn a sailboat, but we're enjoying the scenery and watching everything's going on, and all of a sudden Dave hollers, "Duck! Duck!" And bang! This boom came across, hit Reiner in the side of the head. Reiner is cussing and swearing and calling Dave every name in the book. And Dave is swearing at Reiner because he didn't get out of the way, and that turn just cost us 2 extra seconds in this race going around there. Anyway, we finally get over this race. I never did know where the finish line was, but there was a whole lot of guys afterwards tapping each other on the back and saying what a great race that was, and really, okay. This started off with just bullets of memories over 50 years, and that was turning into a book. And my good wife over there was typing and then shredding and typing and shredding and typing and shredding. And finally I got it down to just this, because there was just too many things that was going on in our lives. And every once in a while, life throws you a curveball, and Dave and Jean divorced, Alma and I divorced, and Dave and I didn't see as much as each other after a while, but still would phone once in a while. And one day he phones me up and he says, "Jim, how about meet me at the Newton Inn for a beer after dinner?" "Sure, I'll meet you down there." So we go and we're sitting in the bar, and the Newton Inn at that time used to have a little bit of a dance floor at the front. And Dave, after a few drinks, says, "I gotta use the washroom." So he gets up and goes to the washroom, goes back and he sits down and he says, "Jim," he says, "see that blonde down there?" "Yeah." He says, "You gotta go ask her to dance." "I'm not asking her to dance, Dave." "Yeah, you got to. She's gorgeous." Okay. A while later, a little more of this, and I got the courage, and I went down to ask this gorgeous blonde chick to dance. Now she got her back to me, so I walk up and I put my hand on her left shoulder and say, "Kenna, Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were somebody else. It was a guy. I'm looking back at Dave, and he's just, pardon the French, pissing himself. He thought that was the funniest thing ever. This son of a bitch, I'll get you. I did, but it was at a singles dance. Time went by, years were flying by, and Dave and Marianne got together, and he asked me one day to be his best man. And I was honored to do that. And more time went by. Sandy and I had moved away from the Lower Mainland. And we didn't get to see each other as much anymore. But we knew that we were good friends. And we just phoned back and forth every once in a while. He, as most of you know, or probably all of you know, was quite a metal artist. And a number of years ago, he made this for me.
If I can get it out of here.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's nice.
Now, I don't know whether the sailboat sitting up on a big rock means that he's eventually put his sailboat in the rock or not, but I've treasured this since the day he gave it to me. But as you also know, he was a very strong union guy. And we had many, many discussions over the pros and cons of management and unions, because at the time I was a manager with BC Tel, and he was a union guy, and we talked over the pros and cons. Period of time went by, I don't remember how much. I just happened to pick this up. It had a place of honor in our den, and I looked at it. And down below, he couldn't resist. Proud to be a union sheet metal worker, right on the bottom of the big dollar. That was my Dave. This is a little tougher part because I just lost another friend yesterday morning. So. Thank you for listening to me. Rest easy, my friend. You will always have a special place in my heart. And never be forgotten. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for listening to me.